Hi, welcome back to Life Without Number. My name's Mark, and this is the first of my quick and regular training updates. If you want to know the backstory to this whole fitness journey, then I'll put a link to the video down below. So on to the first week of training, and it was very much Hyrox focus. Hyrox is the first event I have in my diary for 2026, so that's the priority. But the beauty with Hyrox training is it gives you the strength and endurance training to help on the bike following the Hyrox season. So starting with Monday last week, I won't go into too much detail. Any questions, please let me know. Happy to answer any questions you have. But starting with Monday last week, I split my week in high and low days. So certainly for an over 50s athlete where recovery is king, you've got to obviously have those low days to allow your body to recover. And then every second week, or whenever my body says I need it, I'll build in a full recovery day, maybe 2 recovery days if required. But so Monday last week was a high day. So that basically means it's a high intensity day. So I did a zone 2 session on the turbo. Okay, that's only zone 2, but it just puts some volume in there, and zone 2 training is really important on the bike. But then in the evening, I went to rigorous gym and I did an hour and a quarter of strength circuit training, which is pretty hard going. I think from memory, it was 3 minutes on, 45 seconds off for an hour and a quarter. And that was across body weights, dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell exercises, such as overhead press, all the push and pulls that you can imagine. And yeah, certainly you feel after an hour and a quarter of that, it's not only just building strength, it's also building your muscular endurance, which of course is important for Hyrox, but also important for these things here out on the bike. Tuesday was a low day. As I said, I alternate high and low. So Tuesday, a little bit more riding than I'd normally do on a low day. I was out with the 3T here at Cannock Chase doing a photo shoot for Bridgedale, which are a client of mine, with GuyKesTV from GuyKesTV. It's always a pleasure to meet up with Guy and go for a ride with him. But yeah, so a little bit more than normal, but yeah, it was just a plain riding day. Certainly the heart rate didn't get up, so it was a good recovery day because, of course, we were stopping on a regular basis to take photos and video and so on. But yeah, it was on the 3T. A full review of the 3T after a season of racing is the next video on the channel, so please stay tuned for that. So then came Wednesday, another high day. So went for a little bit of a zone 2 run in the morning, and then in the evening I went to rigorous gym again to do a Hyrox themed hour 30 circuit, which really is very high intensity. Again, 3 minutes on, 45 seconds off, and that is everything across the spectrum of Hyrox. So I'm just looking down so I don't forget anything, so please forgive me if you see the top of my head. But that's sled push, sled pull, shoulder ups with sandbags, burpee broad jumps, kettlebell step ups, ski erg, bike erg, rower, and wall balls, dreaded wall balls. So yeah, very high. You kind of heart rate is right up there. You recover a little bit in those 45-second intervals, but not hugely. Really good cardio endurance for both Hyrox and for the bike. So Thursday being a low day, it was a really easy day. I did 90 minutes of zone 2 on the turbo. Sounds horrifically boring, but yeah, with a good podcast, it's absolutely fine, and it gets the zone 2 endurance in there. Friday, another high day. So that was a run, 45 minutes run with 5 5-minute intervals thrown in at kind of tempo pace, and then a 5x5 strength training session in my garage gym. I will show you around the garage gym if that's of interest. I'm happy to show you around the garage gym, let you see what I'm training with on a regular basis here at home. And finally, Saturday and Sunday, easy. So it was a long ride and a long run, simple as that. So again, what I'll do over the coming weeks is I'll be taking you out with me on some of these long rides on the bike, both this thing here and also the actual mountain bikes that I've got sat in the storeroom. Loads of bike content coming, so stay tuned for that. No rest day, I hear you say. Well, as I said at the start, the low days were very low, so I didn't feel the need for a rest day. But this week, I've actually got 2 rest days coming up. I think I'm self-employed, so I guess I'm quite lucky in that I can kind of put my training around my work. So it works out quite nicely because this week I'm away with work for 2 days. So I've actually got 2 rest days this week. So yeah, I'll be nicely recovered come the weekend. And hopefully this weekend, I'll be heading off to Cordy Brennan on the mountain bike. I haven't been there for a few months, and it's been way too long. In other news, I've entered my first ever Xterra. So Xterra duathlon, off-road duathlon in May at Weston Park, May 2026. That's going to be fun. So that's a 3-kilometre trail run followed by 31 kilometres on the mountain bike, followed by another 10k trail run at the end. It's the closest I'll ever get to triathlon because I can't swim. And I guess not being able to swim might be a problem with triathlon. Yeah, duathlon it is, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Something new to kind of stick in the diary and see how I get on. So yeah, there'll be lots of Xterra content coming as well next year. And then my weight update. I'm sure you're not that interested, but anyway, I'll tell you, I'll stay accountable to you. So yeah, it's 96 kilos still, which is no great surprise. I wasn't expecting to lose any weight right now. I'm kind of eating at maintenance calories. I track it through MyFitnessPal, the free version. You know, it certainly kind of concentrates the mind. Definitely recommend it. And yeah, so I'm eating at maintenance and then slightly above maintenance on strength days, and obviously days where I'm really going heavy in terms of intensity. So on my high days, just put a few more calories in there, make sure I replace most of what I burn. In terms of my diet, and probably this is a conversation for another day and a whole other video, I'm plant-based. Through choice. It's just a personal choice I've made. So yeah, I've got to be honest. As much as you'll hear vegetarians and vegans say you can get all your protein, you can get all your protein through a plant-based diet for sure. But you just have to think about it a little bit more. So I'm kind of aiming for between 130 and 160 grams of protein on any given day, and it's doable within the calorie kind of parameters that I've set myself. So yeah, it probably is a conversation for another day, because it is quite interesting for those that are into sports nutrition and all that kind of stuff. So that's it for this week. I said it'd be a quick one. Going forward, they'll be even quicker. But I'd really like to know, have you found this potentially of interest? I don't want to bore anybody. You know, life is precious, time is precious, so you've got better things to be doing than listening to me waffle. So yeah, if it's of interest and of value, please let me know. And yeah, until next time, stay safe. Bye for now.